The way that this article from Argentina is written, you can kind of understand why Liam's father was upset with Rogelio Roger Norris. Let's get into this. One of the things that's been described by the prosecutor is that Rogelio Norris had dark control over Liam Payne. The courts have discovered how Rogelio Norris, now charged with the abandonment of Liam Payne, became the force that dominated his life. What Liam's dad said really hurt Rogelio Norris and will be hurting Rogelio Norris as he proceeds with this case. One of the articles in Argentina writes that 10 years ago, Liam Payne was on top of the world. As a member of the pop group One Direction, he sold out stadiums. Last month, Liam returned to Buenos Aires, fell off from the balcony, or at least that's what people say. Some people speculate something else. And let me just say this. I don't feel like we have enough information. With a missing watch, to me, a lot of this seems like a robbery. Now, what about Rogelio Norris? A lot of the Argentinian articles are writing that he fell off his room from the third floor of Casa Hotel on Wednesday night, and there was cocaine, whiskey, and prostitute. That's what was put out there. Now, the prosecutor, Andres Madre, says that there are people behind Liam's death. Right now, we know of 3. But the Argentinian businessman Rogelio Norris, or Roger, is definitely one of them. Let's talk about these charges. He is charged with abandoning Liam Payne as well as supplying and facilitating the drugs. In order for the prosecutor to charge Rogelio Norris, Roger Norris, they had to analyze 800 hours of footage from Casa Hotel, review Liam's phone. There's an attempt to get into Liam's computer. They took large amounts of testimony, including from Liam's father. Liam's father said the same thing that the courts were able to confirm through the analysis of communication and the comparison of other testimonies, that Rogelio Norris, Roger Norris, after meeting Liam Payne in Miami at the beginning of this year, Rogelio Norris became the force that dominated Liam's life, Liam Payne's life. If the Payne family wanted to know how the singer was, needed to contact Rogelio Norris. So there was this article that came out, and I talked about it in several videos ago, that the family felt some type of way about Rogelio. Now, this was prior to the charges. They felt like Rogelio Norris was isolating Liam. Like he wanted to keep him isolated, you guys. Have you ever had anybody like that in your life that keeps you isolated, and typically it's because they want something from you? Oh, I can relate to this. So if Liam Payne's family, his own father, people around him, if they wanted to know how Liam Payne was doing, then they needed to contact Rogelio Norris, Roger Norris. Yes, he wasn't just some friend from Argentina. No, when people said that he was a manager, he literally was everywhere with Liam. Okay, he was around Liam. Now, one thing we need to find out is if he did any businesses with Liam. Did he have Liam sign anything? His financials, I would hope, would need to be checked by a forensic accountant. That's my thought on that. This is what the Argentinian articles are reading. Liam Payne's father himself said it. Okay, this is what he said, and he's quoted in Argentinian articles. Roger was always the intermediary, the person in between. That to me sounds like a manager. Right? I could see some of these celebrities having intermediaries. Hell, with Selena and Yolanda Saldívar became an intermediary to a certain degree. She was stealing from her. Okay, we know that. And then she killed her. This is what happens when you let, people close, and then they start kind of getting in between, and your family has to go through that person to get to you. Was Rogelio Norris being paid for that? I don't know. Like, who designated Roger to be in that position? It's no wonder why people speculated a lot about their relationship, and Liam had to come up and say, guys, we're just friends. And in life, he disputed any claims that people made of him. But you would think that somebody who cared about Liam so much just left him there, right? Left him there to do what exactly? Let's just say that Roger left him there. He was there, visited him 3 times, and, left 40 minutes after it happened. What happened? How was he between the time that he those 40 minutes? Was he on camera? Was he talking to other people? Did he leave them to get set up? Something happened. The witnesses are saying different things. That's the problem with this whole situation. We don't know, and it leaves room for speculation. And the way things are reported and the inconsistencies between the witnesses, the fans, the footage, what we know, the pictures, the missing watch, nothing matches. The 911 call. Liam's father, again, he said it himself. He said it to the prosecutors. Roger was an intermediary. When people were calling Roger to ask about Liam, they're calling him on the phone. Hey, we want to get in contact with Liam. And Rogelio's response would be like, oh, he's better than ever. He would have told the relatives every time they asked. And so a lot of these charges about abandonment, even though people still want to come into the comments and say, Rabbit, he is responsible for his own sobriety. Yes, I agree. To a certain extent. But when you are providing the drug that killed him, or at least led to his death, right? You are providing a drug, okay? And you provide this drug and then you just abandon him. You administer the drug and then you just abandon him. You are responsible. Oh, yes, you are. And so this explains the charges of abandonment. It is not about the fact that the businessman did not come to the singer's aid. Oh, no. But about the long road that led to the Casa hotel. We have to understand how these prosecutors in Argentina are thinking. The businessman, Rogelio Nores, and this is straight from the Argentinian articles, would have become a sort of de facto manager. De facto manager, even though he says, I'm not his manager, I'm just his best friend. That's what I am. Why are y'all calling me manager? No, he's a de facto manager because he played a role. And you can see actual images of him trying to tell Liam where to go. He's around Liam the whole time. He's around. Although they did not have a specific contract in this regard, because there was no contract, sources in the case say that Norris operated as an investment advisor and that they had businesses in common in view of Payne's possible return to the world stage. I have a feeling that even though nothing was written, and people think that just because you don't have a contract written, that there's nothing valid there. That is far from the truth. I suggest everybody take a contracts course at your local law school, whatever it is, because verbal contracts can also be held by a court. Okay? But sources in the case say that Rogelio Norris operated as an investment advisor. They had businesses in common in view of Payne's possible return to the stage. For this, the singer's recovery from addiction to drugs and alcohol was key. He just had to be detoxified. This is what articles are saying. Rogelio Norris accompanied Payne in a deep detoxification treatment in the United States. There, a psychiatrist prescribed him medication, sertraline, the antidepressant that was found in the toxicology test. Okay? So your managers accompany you to these appointments, right? It wasn't Kate Cassidy, the girlfriend. I mean, this is kind of like, your partner would go to you to these appointments, right? I'm thinking my husband is going to go with me to my doctor's appointments, but this is a whole different level, right? Industry stuff. The specialist told Liam, okay, and possibly Roger Norris, that if you mix alcohol and cocaine with this prescription drug, the result could be lethal. Then there was another treatment in Spain that was carried out, which also failed. So they ended up in Argentina. Then Liam was put in a prestigious 5-star hotel that was used to hosting big rock stars. We talked about that. And they kicked him out of there. They even visited a local psychiatrist who testified, and that testimony is in the file, in the judicial file. After the 5-star hotel, they both went to the Patagones Polo Club, okay? And with the singer's last girlfriend, Kate Cassidy, where the singer was photographed wearing a helmet and he was riding a horse, okay? But something made Liam nervous at this stay. And I talked a little bit about this, right? Why was Liam nervous about the Polo Club? If you believe anything that Brian Baez says, right? That he was nervous, he was paranoid, he was shoving paper on that key card thing. If you believe anything that he says, he talked about paranoia that he had, right? An antidepressant that he needed to take. Why? I think that Liam was probably facing a very pivotal moment in his life, trying to make a comeback into the music industry, trying to push through, and the pressure of that, and then to remain clean and sober and everything might have accumulated, right? Very possible. It's a lot of pressure out there. They arrived at Casa Sur Hotel in Palermo on Sunday before the death. Now, Liam did not even have a bag when he arrived. There, according to testimonies and analysis that are part of the case of the prosecution, notice control would have been much more evident, with alleged orders to the hotel staff to report each expense. So Rogelio Nores is controlling his expenses. Okay. Rogelio noticed this time managed Payne's expenses while receiving calls for whiskey, champagne, or tequila, whatever Liam Payne wanted to order, with physical money being delivered at the reception. The evidence also speaks of free days when Liam would consume cocaine. Some of you guys have disputed this in the comments and said, Rabbit, he never consumed cocaine. This was put on to him. It didn't happen. He was clean. I'm reporting what the Argentinian articles are putting out there. So if you feel different about what I've just said, you guys are entitled to your own opinion. Argentinian articles are saying that the evidence also speaks of free days when Liam could consume cocaine. The day he died precisely was a day off. Free days where he can consume cocaine, and the day he died was a day off. So Rogelio Nores would frequently return to the hotel to top up the bill. Liam Payne, meanwhile, insisted on the phone, asking for the Argentinian pesos to pay the dealers who offered him cocaine, with photos of the bags they offered him and the corresponding prices. The prosecution suspects that Rogelio Nores had obtained cocaine from himself, which then led to the second charge against him. Meanwhile, hotel cameras filmed Liam as he wandered on the halls. He didn't like to stay in his room, so he was wandering the halls, drunk, with a distant look. For the time being, Rogelio Nores is free, with his passport handed over to the courts and a ban on leaving the country. Actually, the two other people that are charged are also banned from leaving the country, but they're free to roam Argentina at this point. That's what it sounds like, okay? I want to bring another point that was suppressed by YouTube. And what I mean by suppressed, it literally basically says that the video that I made is not good for advertisers, so I have to be careful about what I say, yada, 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 right? And it happens to a lot of us channels that are under 100,000, whatever, it happened. There's a text message that's part of the evidence that was leaked to the Argentinian media where it says, estos 6 gramos son de la buena, basically meaning these 6 grams are the good ones. And it's a message between Rogelio Nores and Liam, where he was telling him that these 6 grams are good 6 grams, essentially referencing to, cocaine. This is the friend. This is mediary, right? Between him and the family. I'm sure the family trusted that Rogelio Nores was doing right by Liam Payne and keeping him clean and everything, right? Because, how could you not? How could you not? They're friends, right? They've been friends for quite some time. Liam had been visiting, Argentina. Yeah. And Rogelio Nores has a lot of connection. But this specific message was used and it's not even being talked about, you guys. Some of you guys came into my comments and said, Rabbit, how come nobody's talking about this? I said, because guess what? The way the media reports in Argentina is different than they report in the United States. We've seen this happen in international cases like the Shanquella Robertson. We would hear, information a lot earlier before it hit the United States, and then it hit like 3 days later. It does happen like that. Any type of their like international tragedies, every country does their media a little bit different. But we have to keep an open mind to this, right? I can't get over the watch situation. I just can't. I can't get over the idea that out of everything, that's the thing that comes up missing, right? And was it missing before or after Rogelio Nores leaves? Is Rogelio Nores really that wealthy? Is he really got that kind of money? Like, what does his financial situation look like? You know what they say? They say follow the money, right? Mhm. Follow the money. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think about what I just said. And again, some of this is just sources and things that I pulled from different articles in Argentina. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully everybody catches up with this. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, please. Bye, guys.